Hello, this video is an introduction to the 18-volt combination battery drill and a guide to some of its functions. So if I lift the drill up, and if we look at the three symbols here, we have a hammer drill, we have a screwdriver setting and a drill setting. So before I go any further, I don't want to accidentally squeeze the trigger and switch the power on when I've got my hand over the chuck. So I'm just going to put it into neutral. So if you turn these drills over, there's a switch on the side next to the trigger. So this one is for forwards, this one is for reverse, but if you put it in the middle, it doesn't. The power source can't be switched on. You can't squeeze the trigger. So it's now completely safe. So I'm going to just bring it back up, and I'm just going to explain before I do a demonstration hole using the drill. I'm just going to explain a little bit about what this is. This is a high-speed drill, and it's mostly for metal and wood, not for masonry, but metal and wood, and it's got a kind of angled, chiseled end. So I'm going to use the smaller one for the demonstration. I'm going to drill a pilot hole into the timber that I've securely fixed to the bench. Now if you go clockwise, if you just turn the grip here, it's a keyless chuck. If you go clockwise, you can see that the jaws of the drill is coming out. So I'm going to put the bit in, and I'm going to bring it up to about approximately where the end of the spirals are. And it's important to get it in the center of the three jaws, so that's not quite right, and just tighten it up. Now if you just hear it click, it's usually tight. Okay, so it's now ready to go. On the top here we have a speed control, so it's on number 1, it is for low speed, and then the number 2 is high speed. So I'm going to leave it on number 2, which is high speed. So I'm going to put the drill on the timber, and I'm going to use both hands. I'm now going to put it into forward, and I'm just going to squeeze the trigger just gently, so you're not pushing the drill, and you're trying to keep the drill square to it, and don't change direction when you start drilling. So start off in the right way. So I'm just going to give it a couple of quick bursts. Now the drill is in the timber, so how do we get it out? So there's a switch here, and if I push it, you see it comes out the other end. It's now in reverse, so I put both hands on the drill, and I can then withdraw it. Alternatively, you can just leave it in forwards, and then just withdraw the drill when it's switched on. Okay, that's good. Right, let's move the dial to the screwdriver setting, and I'm now going to clockwise loosens the chuck, take the drill out. Now we're going to put the screwdriver head in, and I quite like this one because it comes out and you can change the different heads. So this one is compatible with this screw, but there are different heads that you can get, usually in a set, so you can then quickly change the sort of heads you get without having to undo the chucker and everything. So I'm just going to quickly withdraw the jaws and then get it in the right place, and then yeah. So right, I've just checked that it's in the middle of the 3 jaws. If you tighten it off, it's now ready to go. So I'm going to put this screw in, and I've got a piece of plywood which I prepared already. So I'm going to, which has got a countersink hole in it, which is for the head of this screw. So when you've finished, it is actually flush with the piece of wood. So I'm just going to put it in the right position. Is it in the hole? Yep. Okay, so taking it out of neutral, and now I'm going to put it in the forward mode. I'm just going to engage the screw and then just squeeze the trigger gently. Now on the front here you've got a series of numbers, which is a kind of torque or clutch or brake if you want it, and what that does is it stops the power, so you're not continually keep winding the force of the screw, or the power into the screw. So in other words, it stops it. Otherwise what will happen is the drill will just slide off it, and it will damage the screw and probably damage your work. So it's a clutch. So I'm going to put it on to number 2, the lowest setting. I'll put it in, turn the switch out of neutral, and then put it into forward by pressing that. Yeah. So I'm just going to re-engage it. Now that sound is saying that it's a brake, it's the clutch, it's the torque. It's saying that I've gone as far as you've asked me to go, but the screw is not yet flush with the timber. So what I'm going to do is put it up to say 7 or 8. So we re-engage it. Now that's firmly in, it won't move, and it's now completely flush. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Now the numbers on the ring here only apply to the screwdriver setting, but when you put the drill or the hammer drill on, it doesn't apply. So it's now onto hammer drill setting. Now hammer drill, you're going to be using this kind of, I found the biggest one I could find. This is for a masonry bit, and you know it's a masonry bit because it's got this carbon steel tip, which is completely different to that. That is not for masonry, stone or concrete. This is designed for those materials. So I'm going to neutralize it again. I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to take the screwdriver setting off, and I'm now going to just show you. Yeah, so I'll put the drill bit in the center of the jaws, and you might just see the jaws coming out of the other end. So when you do this all the time, you just get so used to doing it, you don't even think about it. So I've got this brick here, put it into shot. Now I did a pilot hole earlier, move that out of the way, using this masonry bit just to test it out. And it's important that you select the right rawl plug for the right drill bit, the masonry bit. So in other words, it just slides down the hole. You haven't got to hit it with a hammer or anything. It's got to be the right rawl plug or the right masonry bit for the right rawl plug. So the drill at the moment is in neutral, so I don't accidentally press the trigger. So I'll just put it into forward mode, and then I'm just going to put the drill and then just hold it firmly. As you can see, that's quite noisy and it's quite effective. Let's take that out of the way. So, well, that more or less comes to the end of this demonstration, but I just wanted to say something about the power source. This is a lithium-ion battery, and it's got layers of lithium-ion in this. It's the same sort of thing that you would get in a car. But I wanted to draw your attention to this number here, which is 1.3 Ah. That is the amp hour, or in other words, the capacity. So that's quite important. For 1.3, for somebody like me, that's ample, you know. And I've got two of these, so one's on charge and one I'm using. But you might find because this is where the money is, this is the cost. My advice is that if you can get a higher number, which is 1.5, 2, 3, or even 4, your running time with the drill is much longer. So if you're working in the construction industry, that's probably a better battery. And then the last thing is about health and safety. It is wise to use eye protection, and as you heard, with the masonry bit, it is quite noisy, and it does sometimes give off a lot of dust. So a dust mask is also advisable. So I hope there's some takeaways for you in this demonstration. I hope it's some help to you. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time.